I'm Scott Perdue, and today on FlyWire we're going to do a review of the AC Technologies TrackTech Tug. I've had this thing about 6 years and it's been a stalwart of the hangar. I've tried every single, almost, kind of tug imaginable, doing it by hand, doing it by tow bar, doing it by golf cart, even put a hitch on my pickup truck so I could use that for a tow bar. I've had, you know, the kind of old vehicles that they use at airports to move baggage around and stuff like that, all kinds of different stuff. And we're going to check this one out, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of this particular tug so you can make a better choice. Stick with us on FlyWire. So it's been on charger, and let's see if it's green. There's two little lights right here that are green. It says that it's charge complete. So we unplug it like that. This is what it looks like right there. We'll get that out of the way. And this is the control box. One of the cool things about this kind of remote control tug is that you don't have to be locked in on the nose when you're moving the airplane. You can be at the tail, you can be on a wingtip, whatever your tight spot is, you can be there and watch it real time instead of having wishing and move it a little bit and go check, or hoping you don't hit it, or trying to find somebody else to spot you. You can do that. You can be there yourself and operate this. So I think that's pretty cool. This one doesn't have a lazy Susan, so it doesn't turn around. So you have to be careful when you're doing a nose wheel airplane like this and what its turn limits are. The Bonanza's got pretty good turn limits, and it's got shear pins right here that if you overturn it when you're using a tow bar, it'll break before it damages the nose gear. You don't have that with this, so you got to be very careful to watch what its limits are, and whatever airplane you use it on, if it applies to you, just watch for that. With tailwheel airplanes or full swivel, it does fantastic. It really makes it quite easy, and I might do that. We'll add a little demo of what a tailwheel looks like just for kicks and grins a little bit later. But it's time to move this thing out, so let's get after that. Got to open the door first. This is the control box for it. This is what you walk around with. So it wirelessly talks to the unit, and to be able to have them both work together again, you got to turn that switch on. There's a little rocker switch right there. Batteries in here. Antenna's internal, and then there's another rocker switch right there. We turn that on, and then it talks to each other. So we can move the tug now. It has also a high and a low speed. This is its antenna right here, and this is the joystick. This direction is forward, which is the way it's going right now. That's forward. This direction is back. It goes backwards that way, and it goes about the same speed. And this way, it starts to do the bit of the tank thing where you stop one tread or you slow one tread down so you can start turning the vehicle. So left or right, and it stops that tread. So that's how the thing works. Get it out of the way here and reorient this thing, and we'll go straight back for a little while. All right, this is one of the important points right here is going down this hill. It's it's not a big hill, it's about that far, but one of the issues with the tracks on the TrackTech is it really doesn't like uneven surfaces very much. At least this is the first generation. I've heard later versions of the TrackTech, they've designed this problem around this problem mostly, but it isn't a problem with this first generation, and you got to be careful of that. Any kind of a lip or anything like that is going to pose a bit of a problem for for the tracks on this thing. It'll pop a track and it'll come out of a cog, and you can rip up the tread if you're not real careful. And this is enough of a slope that it'll do that. If you have a rail like for a hangar door or something like that, it could be a major problem. So you got to watch that. Ask me how I know. All right, the next thing it's important to take account of is as you're turning it for this particular plane, the Bonanza, It's got tow limits, turn limits, right in here. It's scribed in there, and because if you turn it anything over than that, you're going to damage the nose gear. This does not have a Lazy Susan kind of a platform, so you can avoid issues with turning the nose gear. It'd be nice to have, and I think later versions of the TrackTech have that as an option. I don't have that, so I want to be very careful about overturning. So that's about as far as I can turn right there. And so I'm going to watch that and turn the airplane. That's about as far as I want to crank the nose gear over to do that. So I'll just keep moving it. I'm going to move it pretty slow. No reason to go real fast. Just check that toe pin. My situation now, I'm clear of the door, so I can just straighten it out. So I've gotten used to handling this thing. I usually carry it just like this, hold it in the palm of my hand, and then I can operate the joystick with my thumb. There's another switch on here besides the high and the low speed switch. It's called release, and there's a little latch on the back of this thing that holds that cradle together, and if I click that, then it pulls that latch off and releases it, and now I can just go backwards and it's released. It's off the airplane. So now I can get it out of the way. Go back to the hangar. We'll try the TrackTech on the Stearman, see how it does. Nice tail wheel, airplane, swiveling tail wheel. I just checked the website, and apparently AC Air Technology still make this original Generation 1. They call it the T-Mini, and it's a pretty reasonable price for a Tug. I've moved T6s with it, Barons, everything else like that. And they make an upgraded second generation, the T1. Not quite had double the price, but a lot more capable of a Tug. That's how it works on a tailwheel airplane. You can basically turn it around. Oop, a little overdone. Turn it around in its own footprint. Pretty cool. And I'm nowhere to be found. But hey, as long as we have this turbine out, let's check the weather. We might have to just go fly the thing. I'm gonna bring the Tug back. Come back! Come back! Thank you! Alright, here she is, alright. So now the whole trick is I want to line it up with the tire. So you get used to it, moving the joystick around like that. The front part of this has little rollers. That part of that cage are little rollers. So then you can get it on, it helps the tire go over them. And then it'll pop back in and then lock. So make sure the latch is there. Yep. All right. So now it's ready. I'm just going to go forward on it. Oop. It happens sometimes. My latch has gotten a little sticky after 6 years. It doesn't necessarily latch, so go forward. Now just to make sure it's latched, I'm going to reach down and push it forward, and it's good to go. All right, so test it. Now I can go back to the hanger. That's about my toe pin distance there, and off I go. I guess you can hop on the wing and go for a ride. So pros and cons, it's pretty easy to handle. It's really cool to be able to do this remotely and in tight spaces go look at the wingtip or the tail, see if you're going to jam into something, and we don't want to do that. A little hanger rash we want to avoid. So it's actually pretty convenient for doing that instead of being stuck on the nose, operating a tug or one of those handheld things that are trying to move the tire, all that kind of stuff. You can actually see what's going on and get closer to things. So that's a huge plus. The battery on this, I guess it's a lithium ion, not sure exactly, but it's 6 years and it's still going strong. I haven't replaced it. Probably need to think about that before too long. There are rechargeable AA's in this, and I've had to replace those, and I ended up just stop using the rechargeable AA's. The regular AA's work better, so that's what I use in this thing. And the other thing is I don't leave this on the charger for days at a time. It shows you little red lights when you hook it up to the charger, and then that shows that it's charging, and then they go out. It charges pretty quickly, and when it hits green, I turn it off. I've had it before in a hangar that I wasn't, not my house, so when I did that, I put it on a timer that would then open up and then allow it to charge for about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and then it shut it off. And that way you don't just keep a potential charge going across that battery all the time, and I think that's helped the battery life out quite a bit. So pros, it's a really cool thing to be able to do this remotely. I like that. The negatives are on this particular tug is it doesn't really like off-roading. It doesn't like off-roading at all. Again, I hear later versions, this is generation 1, later versions actually do much better with going off-road a little bit and handling that, and it really doesn't like lips on hangers. You have to take it really slow. So call them up and talk to them and make sure that it meets your needs. But like I said, the way I understand it, the later generations are much better at not popping a track when you go over little lips like this, rails, or brick ledges or something like that in your hangar. Very real possibility. The other thing about it is if you do have to replace some treads, I've actually replaced the treads on this once, and I've replaced sections of the treads, and it's pretty easy to do, so it's not a big whoop about doing that. Overall, I think it's pretty good value. It doesn't have a gasoline motor. I don't have to deal with starters or fuel or batteries and cars. It was always a trouble keeping all these different motors running. So this is much easier. A little electric tug. The electric motor's got an incredible amount of torque, and they say that the battery is good for 30 minutes of continuous use, and I've done that. I've done that, and it still works. And I've taken it, I've used it to tow an airplane probably a quarter mile or so, and then back another airplane to a different hangar, and it works like a charm. So if you're thinking about a tug and it hits your price range, and you solve the issues, talk to the folks about the popping a track on hanger lips and stuff like that, then it could be the tug for you. There's other ones out there, and the best tug, Bravo, we reviewed before. That's a pretty good tug, but it costs a lot more than this one, and it has a lot bigger impact, and you're stuck in the front of the airplane instead of being able to walk around and make sure you don't ding the elevator when you're putting the airplane in the hangar. Hope you liked it. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see it next time, hit the bell so you get notified, and subscribe. I sure appreciate that. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time on FlyWire.